chase at 20 miles an hour. So that's...
3, 2, 1, launch!
With the script for Partners in Crime complete, the cast and crew are gathered at their Cardiff studios for the first read-through of the series.
Until you hear the actors you've cast reading those lines, it's the first time, really, that the whole thing comes to life.
Marvellous, yes, hooray. I'll be reading the stage directions. It's always exciting. A lot of them in it. Exterior Noble's house. False cheeky music. Donna steps out, head held high on a mission. Donna walking along, left to right. The doctor walking along, right to left. Donna stops in the street, looks up Tower Block, which is the HQ of Adipose Industries.
The first half of the episode is basically about the fact that the two of them kind of keep missing each other.
Does it need a coat? Yeah.
Thanks, then. And that Donna's been looking for the doctor.
Pretty surprising when the doctor sees Donna for the first time. It's fairly unlikely. It's a great way to reintroduce the characters to each other. In a moment of great peril, you have this sort of dumb show. And you saw that on the page.
The doctor looks straight ahead, and Donna looks straight ahead, and she sees him. And he sees her. She does a little mime. I came here, trouble, internet, and pills, places weird, hid there, back, crept along, hid this, you, and on they.
I said to James Strong, the director, the day before, I said, have you got any thoughts about that, you know, at all? And he said, no. He said, and I'll ask Russell. And then the message came back was, oh, see what Catherine comes up with. So I kind of did it a bit on the hoof, actually. Well, as we were filming it, really, and just mucked about a bit with it, and we'll be taking a career in mime a lot further.
It was funny, Catherine's first day on set just felt like she'd never been away. It was like, you know, catching up with an old mate.
Because it's the second time I've worked with him, he... I don't have to curtsy every morning, which was the ritual when I was in the Christmas special, which was a little bit, you know, much, but fair enough, really. So now I don't have to, so that's great.
Obviously, we know Catherine Tate as a great comic actor, so you've got all that coming out of the script because people know that they're writing for her, and also the way she'll turn a line will keep surprising you. And then she'll surprise you again by fulfilling all the emotional moments as powerfully as she does as well.
She seems to have a valve that taps right into her soul and into the soul of Donna.
You're right. Because he's still out there. Somewhere. And I'll find him. Even if I have to wait 100 years. I'll find him.
So, the male section we are going to visit right now. The female section is to the other side. 6 public baths, always divided in male and female section. That's the changing room and waiting room. The main entrance was over there. Where are the holes all around? It's because there were the wooden poles holding the wardrobes for the clothes.
Ah, okay.
From here to the gymnasium, sport, after sport, massage and sauna, and after the sauna, coming back again here, a dive in a pool filled with the cold water. And after all this, David, at the exit in front of them, one next another one, 2 large wine bar, fast food, and a party with the good company of girls on the backside.
You had your sauna, you got your massage, you came out, you had your dinner.
And so,
with all your mates.
At disposal. I told you, fun town.
Yeah.
Kind of Las Vegas.
Yeah, very much so. If you happen to be part of the Roman Empire, you were clearly having quite a nice life until the skies exploded on top of your head.
It's, David, the best example to understand how terrible were the last moment of life of those people. You see, all these people were trying to save their life underneath the roof and probably waiting that the eruption was over, but they're suffocated by the poisonous gases and just later buried under the 30 feet of pumice stones and ash. So now, 19 centuries later, the archaeologists, during the excavations, sometimes they fell under the volcanic materials, some empty spaces left by the decomposition of bodies. And so they did injections of liquid plaster in these empty spaces. The liquid plaster took the form of the previous bodies, and when it dried up, the archaeologists cleaned all the ash away and appeared the bodies in the same position they were when they died 2,000 years ago.
It's always very easy when you think about historical events for them not to feel particularly human, for them not to feel particularly close. And then you see the shapes of their bodies and you see how their existence ended, and you can grasp a bit of the story of how appalling and shocking and surprising that was. The terror of that moment, the thought that you literally didn't know what was happening. There was no precedent for what was occurring.
What we're going to be filming later tonight is when the actual first rumblings of Mount Vesuvius erupting happened.
They're such huge setups, and when you're on the sort of schedule that we're on and you're trying to get as much done in that one night shoot that you've got as possible, you've kind of got to get them right, because they're big setups. They're going to take a long time to get ready. So when they go, they have to go.
Come on!
It's amazing. I think it looks unlike anything we've ever done, and bigger than anything we've ever done, so I'm thrilled. It's been a tough call, really, putting all this together just for 2 days, but I'm really glad we came, and I'm really glad we've done it.
Clap there! Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much. That is a wrap for this evening. That's a wrap in row. Thank you.
If updating the Ood for another outing wasn't enough to send chills up the spines of the design team, they also faced a cool challenge realising the ice planet.
Snow! Oh, real snow! Proper snow at last!
Ice Planet is one of the things I've always wanted to do. It's one of those science fiction staples, actually, and actually quite easily done. A quarry, a snow machine, a bit of white paint. I say it's easy. People slaved night and day over it.
Today we're dressing the ice plane scene. As you can see behind, there's paper snow going down. There's a fine spray of water which goes down first, and then paper snow is blown on top of that, which just makes it adhere a bit better. It's a fairly fast process, as you can see.
We're up at Treville Quarry, which is on the edge of the Brecon Beacons, and as you can see behind me, we've sprayed a lot of it with snow for the opening scene 4, where the TARDIS arrives.
We had the most fantastic summer day, blue skies, very pleasant, very warm and very pleasant. With this snow landscape, it was really peculiar.
It's just one of the quirks of filming, that whenever you're meant to be hot, it's freezing cold, and whenever you're meant to be cold, the sun is beating down on you.
An Ood. He's called an Ood.
What, its face?
Donna, don't. Not now. It's a he, not an it. Give me a hand.
Donna's reaction to the ood is brilliant because it's like she's so honest.
When she first sees them, not only is she horrified, she's quite freaked out, and because they're not nice looking from a human point of view.
She's there to do those clumsy things that we'd all do.
My name's Donna.
No, you don't need to.
Sorry.
Donna presumes that to speak to it, you have to use that translator board. She picks up the translator board and talks into it, which is terrible. It's like a faux pas in front of someone who's dying. But I really believe you do that.
Face value, it's a shocker, isn't it? You know what I mean? Seeing that line in the snow with purple blood, it's not nice.
And she is mystified. She is fascinated, and she actually starts questioning the ood more closely than the doctor's ever done.
Are there any free ood? Are there ood running wild somewhere, like wildebeest?
She finds great, empathy and compassion with them.
She's properly disgusted by what she discovers going on in the cages, and quite right too. And I think she's quite good at reminding the Doctor of the cost of things, possibly.
The Doctor Who crew have successfully navigated themselves to the edge of Cardiff Docks. And for tonight's filming, a usually buoyant team have that sinking feeling.
This is a big number for us. Finding location to have hard standing near water. It's a night shoot, so quite a lot of setting up, finding the location. And the car that you see behind you is a double. This one's been with any effect for the past week.
Something different for Doctor Who. This is the first time since Doctor Who's been back on the screens that we've done a car cannon, so it's quite a biggie for all departments, including myself. This vehicle here arrived at our workshop about a week ago, and since then we've been stripping out the car, taking all the seats out, all the fuel tank, and putting in this special high-pressure system, which is what we call a car cannon.
The car cannon consists of a long metal tube which is pumped full of gas at high pressure, ready to be fired off like a rocket.
And then towards the end of the week, we were then testing at a lower pressure to make sure the whole system's working, we didn't have any leaks or anything like that. 3, 2, 1. By the time it's leaving the bank, it's probably doing about 60 miles an hour, so it'll be flying into the water.
5, 8, 6, 1, A camera mark. A set. Camera B set. C set. Ready? Yeah. 5 ready. In 5. It's going to be a loud push, everyone, all right? 4, 3, 2, 1, launch.
A familiar face at Unit Base today is Unit's finest.
Hi! Hello, morning! It is great to be back. It, in many ways, feels like I've not gone anywhere. A little bit nervous, don't know who I'm going to be sitting next to. And yet, it does kind of feel like the first day of school. It really does. You are sort of... But it's nice because you're seeing everybody. I'm seeing everybody that was here last year. So I'm going to go and get changed now, but I think we're going to take pictures, which you should come along and see.
And when you have 2 hearts, clearly 3 is not a crowd.
The Doctor's nervous about seeing her again. It's always nerve-wracking meeting up with an ex, isn't it? Especially if it's one that it didn't end entirely happily with. Maybe he didn't behave as well as he might have done when he starts looking back on it.
Action.
Martha Jones.
It could be awkward, it could be strange. And what I think is lovely about that script is that all the tensions just disappear.
When she meets him again, it is very much on a professional level, in a professional capacity, I would say. Doctor? There is a different dynamic between them. She doesn't have that need for the Doctor that she had before in terms of, you know, having a love reciprocated. But of course she's overwhelmed to see him because they've got this amazing friendship. You haven't changed a bit. Neither of you! That's not going to just have disappeared, but at the same time it's moved on to a different place.
How's the family?
You know, not so bad. Recovering.
What about you? He's bringing the new girl along, and he's nervous that that's going to cause ructions.
Right. Should have known. When Donna and Martha meet, you know, there is that moment in that silence where there's probably a million things going through Martha's head, but she does start by saying to the Doctor, "Didn't take you long to replace me then."
Now.
She's comfortable enough with where she is in her life and where she knows their relationship is to make a joke about that.
I mean, his initial impulse is come on, girls. Time out, round one. Martha, Donna, Martha, please don't fight. I can't bear fighting.
You wish. I've heard all about you. It's a lovely scene when the three of them come together and you can sort of see the Doctor standing on guard, getting ready to, you know, break up this massive cat fight, which of course doesn't happen because they're both mature ladies.
He talks about you all the time.
I dread to think.
No, he says nice things.
Donna wouldn't see her as a rival because she doesn't look at the Doctor in a romantic way.
Didn't take long to get over it, though. Who's the lucky man?
What, man? Lucky what?
She's engaged, you prawn.
And then, of course, Martha's got over the Doctor as well, so he suddenly finds himself being ganged up on.
He is too skinny for words. You give him a hug, you get a paper cut.
Oh, I'd rather you were fighting.
Speaking of which, this is Dr. Jones. Operation Blue Sky is go, go, go. I repeat, this is a go.
The brief with the Sontaran really was to keep the traditional look of the Sontaran, the way the head looks, the way it looked in the 70s, that lovely dome shape. But obviously now, 30, 40 years on, we can totally update the technology. Now it's actually a prosthetic makeup. It's in two pieces. There's the large dome part of his head, and then there's a facial piece which goes on. We actually glue it down to the whole face, so that as the performer moves their face, everything moves with the face.
Wonderful. I always wanted Sontarans to be short. That's my mental image of them.
I think the original idea was that they were quite squat, and then I think they got quite tall, but we've made them squat again.
Is that a reference to my height?
Short answer, yes.
A pity. Words are the weapons of women folk. I must judge you unfit.
What are you going to do? Bite our ankles?
One of the design briefs for the Sontarans would be that they were quite short and stocky creatures. So we picked a size basically saying we'd go with 5 foot tall.
Doctor, you impugn my honour.
Yeah, I'm really glad you didn't say belittle, because then I'd have a field day.
So fortunately we got cast Chris Ryan, who is 5 foot tall and is a fabulous actor.
400 million weapons. Sontar! Sontar! Sontar!
We said we wanted to give them that testosterone. They just needed that sort of release, that joy in battle, beyond just saying I'm having fun. So I thought that child brought out their aggression and their rituals and also their fun, but also the fact they're all of one like mind. They are clones. They all do things together. They all join in with exactly the same action, the same words. It just seems really Sontaran to do that.
Probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, when the guys first came together for the first time, we did a few basic exercises, just running things, just some marching, just to get everybody in the feel of the quality of movement that we were actually looking for.
Okay, and 3, 2, 1, action!
400 million weapons! Sontar! Ha! Sontar! Ha!
I seem to
remember saying that quite a few times. My left palm was very sore at the end of, after each session of my Sontahari.
Give me a break.
Action.
Today, the Doctor Who cast and crew are all set for a new arrival.
Arm yourself.
Where did she come from?
From me.
From you? How? Who is she?
She's my daughter.
Hello, Dad.
Big story for the Doctor. I'll just say the title is The Doctor's Daughter.
Lo and behold, Jenny, who is his daughter, steps out of the machine.
And out of this machine, I step because I have been made out of his DNA, so I am his daughter.
It's a noise, I think. It's kind of very deliberate.
I think it's one of the best pre-title sequences we've ever had.
Hello, Dad.
Lovely. And I think that's great, Georgia. I think it's lovely. And I love the smile. It's really great.
Okay, let's go then, please. One more.
The phone call from Russell and Julian Phil basically said, the Doctor's daughter. And then they all went, shh. So it's going to be a big secret.
First of all, you get a Doctor who just wants nothing to do with her, just like, the CSA would be chasing him across the galaxy. Not mine, technically mine, but not my responsibility in any way, shape or form.
She's a generated anomaly.
Generated anomaly. Generated. Well, what about that? Jenny. Jenny. Yeah, I like that. Jenny.
I don't think the Doctor accepts that she is his child at first.
Can't extrapolate a relationship from a biological accident.
Child support agency can.
Look, just because I share certain physiological traits with simian primates doesn't make me a monkey's uncle, does it?
I'm not a monkey. Or a child.
A further complication to the kind of Doctor's relationship with his new daughter is that she is a warrior.
Every child of the machine is born with this knowledge. It's our inheritance. It's all we know. How to fight and how to die.
She's born to fight. She's born to use weapons. She's born to karate chop and kick her feet.
No, don't! Why did you do that?
They were trying to kill us.
But they got my friend.
Collateral damage.
She's one of the few people who can properly defend a soldier's viewpoint to the Doctor.
You keep insisting you're not a soldier, but look at you, drawing up strategies like a proper general.
No, I'm trying to stop the fighting.
Isn't every soldier?
And she shuts him up. She actually makes him speechless once or twice, which Donna loves.
Donna, will you tell her?
Oh, you are speechless. I'm loving this. You keep on, Jenny.
I think over the time she learns from the Doctor and Donna that actually the way that she does fight and she doesn't control how she feels is not necessarily the right way of doing it. And she learns morals over the time. So it's kind of a story of growth, I guess.
That's it, hurry up! No, the sockets moved back.
The sequence where Jenny flips through the beams that are preventing them getting from one end of the corridor to the other was always in that script from the first draft, really. Stephen Greenhorn felt it very important in order to just be a very quick way of demonstrating, really, just how agile, how much of a warrior Jenny really was.
She's not a clone of the Doctor. We're very careful to avoid the fact that she's not cloned, that she is her own person, but you can see the doctorishness in her.
Watch and learn, Father.
No way. The logistics of filming that sequence really is careful planning. So if you kind of just, it's going to slow down at the end of it.
All right,
so
okay,
just,
so I can
you
go like
want to be low where you were, I think, Harwell.
Yeah, it's good.
Just a lot of coordination with the stunt coordinator and the actors. And taking it from there, really.
It had to be storyboarded really carefully by Alice. She really had to work out how Jenny should move through that path of light and how we could shoot that in the most economical way. Georgia did have to have some kind of training because obviously we did need to see her start the movement off and, you know, do that final roll and kick that she does. George is an actress, she's not a gymnast. And whilst she's, you know, she's really fit and really game, we had to make her look like, you know, an Olympic gymnast of the highest order. Very quickly realised we were going to need a body double. So we had a body double who was a gymnast, who does that fast back flipping. Costume and makeup department had to make that lady look identical to Jenny. I mean, she's obviously not identical for Jenny, and the sequence moves so quickly that actually you'd blink and not know.
Not impossible, just a bit unlikely.
Brilliant! You were brilliant! Brilliant! By the end of it, they've both realised that they want to be a little bit more like the other one and admire that in each other.
Action.
Good afternoon, Professor Peach.
Well, first of all, you got Professor Peach.
I need to check something in the library.
Oh.
Alone.
Who doesn't make it through the opening titles.
I say, what are you doing with that lead piping?
But, you know, somebody's got to be the first one to go.
Then you have Lady Edison, the lady of the house.
Forgive me, but who exactly might you be? And what are you doing here?
Charming, genteel, mannered, society lady, but with a mysterious past.
Oh, my God.
Everyone's got a secret, which means everyone's got a motive, of course. That's traditional in a murder mystery.
Action.
My husband.
Then you have Colonel Hugh.
Forgive me for not rising. Never been the same ever since that flu epidemic back in 18.
Devoted, sociable, clubbable man, life and soul of the party.
Don't give my wife ideas.
Who is also harbouring quite a major secret in that he's been in a wheelchair for 20-odd years and doesn't need to be.
Confound it, Mrs. Christie. How did you discover the truth?
45 take 1, B camera only.
Then you have their son Roger.
My word. You are a super lady.
Handsome, charming, with a great big secret staring you in the face that the Doctor and Donna pick up on straight away.
Typical. All the decent men are on the other bus.
Then there's Davenport.
Your usual, sir. Ah, thank you, Davenport. Just how I like it.
The handsome, charming butler who might be a little bit too close to one of the family than he should be in 1926.
Some of these young boys deserve a decent thrashing. Couldn't agree more, sir.
We had to have the flapper character, of course, in the 1920s.
Miss Redmond. Stiffing to meet you at last, my lady.
So Miss Robina Redmond is there, the charm of the London society, socialite, funny, wonderful, clever. Also, strangely, hiding a secret. So she looks like a suspect early on, but actually is hiding a completely different layer of motives.
Oh, all right, then. It's a fair cop.
She's a scrubber from the East End who's stealing everybody's jewellery.
Go on, then, you nose. Arrest me.
Then you have Reverend Golightly, of course.
Ah, Reverend. How are you?
Charming and polite and honourable and decent.
As the Christian fathers taught me, we must forgive them their trespasses.
He's the biggest secret of them all, in that he turns into an alien wasp when nobody's looking.
To stop me killing you all!
That's probably the bit you wouldn't necessarily find in a traditional Agatha Christie novel.
Okay, turn it over, please. A camera only.
There is a mysterious footman in disguise creeping his way through the garden party, drawing attention to himself beautifully and subtly. That is, in fact, David Tennant's father, making a cameo appearance.
49 take 1, A camera mark.
I was coming down to visit David, and I think they must have been short of someone, but they very kindly invited me to play the part of a footman.
Sidecar, please.
And a lime and soda, thank you.
Which has been interesting, and I didn't have to learn any lines. So that was good news.
Hello, I'm the Doctor. How do you do? Now, my lady, where's this special guest you promised us?
And finally, of course, in the house, the final guest you bring in is Agatha Christie herself.
Here she is. A lady who needs no introduction. No, please don't.
Miss Agatha Christie running away from her husband in 1926 in terrible circumstances.
Thank you, Lady Edison. Honestly, there's no need.
Finding herself in a situation where the patterns of her own books are repeating around her. So what's going on?
Here we are with a Dick Barton type of chase with two cars that couldn't go more than 20 miles an hour. So it's a hell of a chase.
Oh, it's quite nice.
Lauren Hardy. I mean, if you look at it and dissect it, the music's doing the pace for you. The action Doctor's doing, the fast action he's doing of running into the car, getting into the car, pressing this, doing that, and letting the brake and go. And the tightness and the fast cutting you do gives you the pace. I think you get away with it. All right, it's a chase at 20 miles an hour, so that's what it is.
Right, now we're all okay, we're in neutral, and I just press that hard, and that's it. Is that right?
I think so.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Excellent. Right, what am I doing?
We were slightly struggling to keep up with Nellie, just because
her car's faster than yours.
I guess her car's faster than ours. We were actually overheating.
I did it in one take, didn't I? I did in one take. Wonder, way to go.
Could be that I can go up into third. I was just worried because, well, on the slope earlier, that's when it died in third, so I was trying to keep out of third.
I'll slow her down a little bit.
I could get it going, but it just didn't have much speed. It just didn't have a lot of poke to it. And of course, inevitably when you're filming, there's a camera car somewhere as well, and you're trying to stay a certain distance in front of them so that they can get the shot. That's difficult enough in a modern car, but when you're driving something that you don't really have all the control over you would wish for, it can be a little bit difficult, especially when you start going up hills and the engine just doesn't want to know. We're driving a sewing machine behind you.
I'm sorry, Dave. Am I showing you up a little bit?
Well, it's not me, it's the engineering of...
Are you sure
It's the engineering of past ages.
What is it about lady drivers, David? What?
Oh.
Thank you. While David's car goes on the low loader, please.
Aha!
Yeah.
You're obviously not good enough. Clearly, I'm going to be driving you on the low loader.
There's no more driving for David as the car is secured to the camera truck.
Yeah, good.
Time is in flux, Donna! For all we know, this is the night Agatha Christie loses her life and history gets changed.
But where's she going?
The lake! She's heading for the lake!
I enjoyed it. And I didn't blow it up. I didn't break it, which is always a plus.
Oh, I'm sorry for the library. Yeah.
Okay. Picking up, please, and action.
Out here, every book ever written. Whole continents. Jeffrey Archer, Bridget Jones, Monty Python's Big Red Book, brand new editions, especially printed.
Thank you.
Stephen's written these two episodes and set them in the biggest library in the universe. It's a whole planet made of books.
This library planet idea has been around for years, actually. After Stephen Moffat wrote The Empty Child for Series 1, I then just said to him, what else do you want to write? We'll have anything, please, anytime, thank you.
I proposed a couple of ideas, the first of which was the library. And I think at some point we've been going to do that story every year, I think.
So I feel, and it's magnificent, so I feel like we waited a long time to arrive at this library.
The library is something terribly futuristic. It's something from the far, far future. And yet it's full of books which are practical material things which are almost old-fashioned now. You know, they're not downloads. They're not on a screen. They don't exist in any kind of digital form. They're real, tangible things. And I think that collision of sort of antiquity with technology is very appropriate to the world of the Doctor, I think.
We're near the equator, so this must be biographies! I love biographies.
You read that script and you think, blimey, we're going to have to travel a long way away. You know, it was hard. We couldn't find a lot of buildings in Cardiff, and then there's literally an empty library on a huge scale in Swansea, just before it's pulled down or sold, was sitting there. It was like the episode was handwritten for the most perfect location.
It was gobsmacking, really, because we'd never been able to ordinarily go into a building like that and close it down for the length of time we needed. I mean, we were in there for almost 2 full weeks, and, you know, we needed to completely take over that place. We never have been able to do that. I think it would have cost us we would probably have had to build all that as a set. We wouldn't have been able to get the kind of scale that we get in there, and the levels and the dome, beautiful dome, and just everything that location offered to us.
If we set up 2 wide shots, one high one and one lower one. Yeah, fine. So again, maybe playing kind of foreground, something in the foreground, and just a bit of creepiness. Yeah.
In the episodes, the library, to give the impression of more than one room, we are changing the colour, the background colour. We go from blue, we go to yellow, we go to red. So we only have one location, but we're trying to give the impression that it's more than one room.
Our design team have done a really great job, I think, and when we came here on a recce, the Swansea Council were taking all the books out, which is the opposite of what we wanted. We wanted this place full of books, and fair play, the art department have filled it with a mile long of fake books. It's not a single page behind these covers. They're all pretend, but I think they look great.
I think most people at one time in their life have been scared in the dark, so there is no monsters in these episodes, so the monsters are the shadows in your own imagination. So my particular job is to try and translate what is written and the director's wishes into that, really. And so it's a matter of making shadows that move. I put lights on high stands and lower them so the shadows get shorter and longer. And moving flags in front of the lights, so the light's in a static position, but the flag might move, thereby giving the impression that the shadow is moving towards the object, towards the person.
That shadow is gone.
We need to get back to the TARDIS.
Why?
Because that shadow hasn't gone. It's moved.
Stephen is so clever because he comes up with a monster that's actually invisible, that's a shadow, and then he somehow manages to turn that on its head and give you a skeleton in a spacesuit that chases people.
Back from it, back! Run back!
It's great with those movements of those suits because you've got to have fun with it and you've got to be scary at the same time. I always think it'll be a success if Monday morning there's some kid in a playground somewhere lumbering like poor proper Dave after he doesn't have to put a suit on, but doing that. It's a classic zombie walk that I know Ilsa came in and worked out for us, and you need it. You need that choreography. The actors need that choreography. The other actors need it to respond to. But what could be better than classic zombie lurching? But this time it's in a spacesuit. I just think it's such a strong image.
You suddenly convulse and stagger slightly in the transition stage. Basically, yes, it's almost, yes, but don't let it go weak, because remember, out of that, you're suddenly becoming stiff. The first input is actually what the script says, how they are, they're stiff, they're standing awkwardly, they move clumsily, and so that is the essence of the movement. We've got a walk where it come up and over the top of the foot and then down, so it gives it that slight juddered motion. And it literally is, it's like a, that's it.
I'm going to do a bit of it, the sort of beginning of it, and then they've got like a movement artist to sort of take over. It's a bit sort of lock-knees and a bit sort of zombie kind of movements, you know.
And Doctor!
Please tell me some kids on Monday are doing that. Then we've succeeded.
The Doctor is always seen as the authority, and yet here is a figure who sort of throws him curveballs because she's one up on him. She knows things. Her sonic screwdriver is actually, although it might look tattier than his, it's more advanced.
What's wrong with it? It's a signal coming from somewhere interfering with it.
We'll use the red settings.
It doesn't have a red setting.
We'll use the dampers.
It doesn't have dampers.
It will do one day.
And he's completely freaked by this because he's not in control. She's wearing the trousers. And also, I think he understands that she could be the love of his life. He understands that even if he doesn't feel it. And that must be a terrifying thing.
Who are you?
Professor Riversong, University of...
To me. Who are you to me?
Again, spoilers.
What unsettles him is the level of intimacy they seem to have shared. The level of intimacy with which she treats him is peculiar for anyone in the Doctor's life, let alone someone he hasn't even met yet.
Pretty boy, with me, I said.
Oh, I'm Pretty Boy.
Yes. Oh, that came out a bit quick.
Pretty?
I just notice, as women do notice, something's going on. And she wants to flush that out. Not from a romantic point of view, but from a... She likes travelling with the Doctor, and this is too important for her to sort of let someone swan in with their old battered sonic screwdriver and lay claim to him. Camera. Action. What are you talking about? You're just talking rubbish. Do you know him or don't you?
Donna! Quiet. I'm working.
Sorry. Donna. You're Donna. Donna Noble.
Yeah.
She is the keeper of secrets. She knows an awful lot about the Doctor that she doesn't let on.
And action. I do know the Doctor, but in the future. His personal future.
So why don't you know me? Where am I in the future?
I think it's a big shiver, that moment, and a sort of a point towards what's to come in the rest of this series.
The Doctor in the TARDIS. Next stop everywhere.
Spoilers. That's a rather tempting thing, isn't it? I mean, there it is. There's your future. There's what's going to happen to you. There's who she is. There's a handy guide to how to win against various other monsters. You know, of course you'd want to have a little look.
Shall we peek at the end?
I wouldn't look into the future. No, I think you'd be mad. Because the thing is, the future's going to come, do you know what I mean? It's going to come whether we like it or not. And if you know it's not going to be good, what a miserable time waiting for it. I'd rather just stay in the ignorance that it's all going to be fine.
Nostalgia about the future is something that only Doctor Who can do. And that's great, and it's brilliant, and it's wonderful. It's one of my favourite things. But the subliminal message is, oh, you've missed the glory days. Remember when it was good?
You know when you see a photograph of someone you know, but it's from years before you knew them. It's like they're not quite finished. They're not done yet.
So, with a stake in the future of Doctor Who, I thought it'd be really, really good to have a character who's doing the exact opposite, who's coming along saying, the Doctor I knew, he was really great. So what you're saying is, instead of saying the show used to be fantastic, you're saying, oh, you wait till the next guy.
Back on location, the production team are preparing to film a first for Donna Noble. As the Doctor languishes in the library, his companion has her own troubles in time and cyberspace.
This episode is perhaps the first time we've seen Donna go off on a little adventure of her own, but I think that's really only in story terms because she doesn't know she's having an adventure on her own because she doesn't remember the Doctor.
Thank you. Forward take, please. Turning over. Sound speed. And action.
No more dreams then? The Doctor in the blue box, time and space.
How did we get here?
We came down the stairs.
Swinging a leg. There's this really clever device that Stephen Moffat's written where time in Donna's world jumps.
Should we go down to the river?
Exactly in the same way as it jumps on television.
You said river, and suddenly we're feeding ducks.
When a scene cuts,
Hello, Lee.
hello, time has moved on.
How do we leave it? Him and me?
I got the impression he was inviting you fishing.
She kind of finds herself thinking,
So, fishing.
I was there a second ago.
What am I going to do with you?
And Stephen was very keen on us to use normal televisual kind of grammar to make that jump.
I play a character called Dr. Moon, who is the keeper of the mainframe. He looks after the computer, he makes things happen, he heals. Yeah, it's a very existential role. He sort of fills in the gaps. Hello, Donna.
Who are you?
I'm Dr. Moon. I've been treating you since you came here 2 years ago.
Oh, God. Dr. Moon, I'm so sorry.
Dr. Moon's a very enigmatic character.
I didn't know you for a moment.
And then you remembered. He plays a certain tone of voice. You've done so much in 7 years, Donna.
Sometimes it feels more like 70. Mind you, sometimes it feels like no time at all.
Obviously, in Doctor Who, in the first 5 minutes of any given Doctor Who story, loads of sinister people turn up and smirk unconvincingly at the camera. That's how Doctor Who operates. Everyone does that in Doctor Who. So obviously, Doctor Moon seems initially mysterious and sinister.
Oops. Sorry. Mrs. Angelo's rhubarb surprise. Will I never learn?
The Doctor. I saw the Doctor.
Yes, you did, Donna. And then you forgot.
He is looking after people. He's trying to make sure that they don't realise where they are, because that would be painful. He's trying to make sure they don't escape, because that would be dangerous. So he's actually entirely for the good.
I would like to think Dr. Moon is is trying to protect Cal rather than being a malevolent presence. Partly because Colin Salmon was so nice.
Whatever your name is.
Just stop.
666.
666. It's different. She's something else. Just let them do something. I'm all. Make her.
The unsung heroes, and I have said this many times, of Doctor Who is the sound department, both the on-set recordists and the post-production, which is an immensely complicated process.
Action.
I'm telling you to stop!
There were slightly different challenges on a story like this, and they involved different departments in ways that they hadn't before. Usually the challenges are about how are we going to blow up that Cyberman, or how are we going to hang off that spaceship, or, It's quite good to give the sound team some things to worry about, put them to work. Not that they don't work hard enough already.
On Doctor Who, we have a team of sound editors. They lay up, on average, about 70 soundtracks on a Doctor Who. Come to me on this screen here, and then they come into a bunch of faders on the desk. That'll be dialogue, sound effects, music, Foley. My job is to mix them all together, produce a coherent soundtrack for transmission on the telly that pleases everybody.
They slave away on this programme, and it's a big old noisy programme. It's like we push them and nag them to fill in every sound. Never be dominant on a close-up of someone else.
No. Okay. Yeah.
That's the thing that throws it. It's
Absolutely.
marvellous.
Once the pictures have been perfected, the sound team lend their ears to those 70 tracks.
This episode is quite different to other episodes of Doctor Who because there's not many monster noises to design, and there's not lots of crowd effects, etc. But it's a psychological one. And this is something that we haven't really touched on Doctor Who before. Normally it's like if you go do a werewolf or a beast or something like that. But this one, because it's dialogue-driven, that's why it's quite difficult and quite different.
Your idea!
You thought of it!
Professor, help me!
When I first read it, I was just thrilled by it, just that we were doing something that different, and that really quite bold, I think, in Doctor Who terms.
I also remember reading it and thinking, how on earth are we going to shoot this? You've got a character who repeats everything.
Bananas. The Medusa Cascade.
On first glance, Sky gets dragged into repeating the words of every other character. And I didn't know how on earth, A, we could film that, or B, how it was going to be possible to learn.
It's more of a sort of psychological horror than you traditionally get in Doctor Who. And from that sense, I think it's quite a grown-up script. I think it's scary in quite an adult way.
I'm just travelling. I'm a traveller, that's all.
Like an immigrant. Who were you talking to? Before you got on board, you were talking to someone. Who was that?
Yeah, there's an interesting study of human behaviour in there. This whole idea that you're going to look for a scapegoat. If you're in a situation that scares the living daylights out of you, you're going to look for an explanation, and then you're going to look for someone to blame.
Doctor, you've been loving this.
Oh, Jethro, not you.
No, but ever since all the troubles started, you've been loving it.
I think it absolutely taps into human nature, really. I think it is that we are pack animals, and I think if we're threatened, we do gather together.
You do seem to have a certain glee. All right, I'm interested. Yes, I can't help it.
Over the next few weeks, the Doctor Who cast and crew will cram themselves into this claustrophobic Crusader 50 set. That's enough to drive anyone crazy.
Action.
What did they say? Did they tell you? What is it? What's wrong?
Making all the right noises is sound effects editor Paul Jeffries.
I'm the sound effects editor on Doctor Who. Midnight was an interesting one for us sound guys. There's lots of different things going on. But we've got something outside, we've got a monster outside, and the imagination runs wild. We don't know what it is. It's the sound man's job to try and feed the imagination and try and satisfy the imagination as well. If it sounds slightly wrong, the illusion's broken, and nobody cares what's outside anymore. So now we're coming to the crescendo. The monster's getting closer and closer, and now instead of being like a heartbeat, it's more like footsteps getting faster and faster, running. It all goes bang.
ADR stands for Automatic Dialogue Replacement, and it's a necessary evil. I'm happy.
It's no secret that David Tennant is rather reluctant at recording ADR. In fact, you could say he's quite vocal about it.
I don't enjoy doing ADR, which is no secret to the people who have to record it with me. I find it difficult and frustrating because you're not there. You're not in that moment anymore. You're not looking that other actor in the eye. You're not experiencing that story in the way that you experienced it on the day that you shot it. And actually, what you're trying to do is recreate something artificially. What happens is you record sound on set. Obviously, you have microphones on set. You have sound recordists there, and they will get the best possible recording of the sound on that day that they possibly can. But there are a number of reasons why that sound might ultimately not work. There might be a plane going overhead, which you didn't have time to do another take. Hello. You know, if you did on the day, you did some strange way of saying a sentence with funny little pauses that you put in on the day, because that felt right at the time. But if you're then in a recording booth 6 months later trying to recreate the strange pauses that you did and trying to match it to your own lips that you're watching on a screen at the time, it's a curious process.
And the cold and the diamonds.
On an episode like Midnight, because so much of it's to do with overlapping dialogue that has to be simultaneous with another character's dialogue, that inevitably there will be a bit of that necessary. But I do get a little bit grumpy sometimes when I'm recording it.
The more we talk, the more she learns. Now, I'm all for education, but in this case, maybe not. Let's just move back. Come on, come with me.
Everyone get back, all of you, as far as you can.
It's amazing how lacking in authority the Doctor becomes in this episode, because his words don't feel like his own anymore. He says all the things that the Doctor normally says, all the speeches that normally take control of a situation, all the speeches that normally win people over, and they don't work. And they don't work because someone else is saying it as well behind him.
My name's the Doctor.
My name's the Doctor.
OK, can you stop?
OK, can you stop?
I'd like you to stop.
I'd like you to stop.
It was very funny when Russell sold this idea to me, when he first talked to me about wanting to write this kind of script. You know, he said to me, OK, ask me a question. I said, what's your name? He said, what's your name? I said, what? He said, what? I said, Oh, I see. Oh, I see.
It's a thing that kids do. You know, say, go to bed. They go to bed. Shut up, shut up.
He carried it on for about 4 minutes, and after 4 or 5 minutes, I was like, look, stop now. I'm freaked out.
And you know when someone keeps doing it, it drives you mad. You know, when a kid really sustains it for like 5 minutes. 5 minutes is enough. It drives you bonkers.
It's like a dripping tap. And I think, for a sense, for those 45 minutes, the people in that cruiser go mad. I think he drives them all mad.
And action!
My entire contribution to episode 11 was done in 1 day, which was a fairly manic day. We had Shanchi and Ali first thing. It was an extraordinary day to turn up on, to have this huge setup with all these supporting artists, all this set dressing, all this stuff, all these banners hanging from everything. Shanchi and Ali was beautiful. A chance for the props department to use all the strange, weird little props that they've never been able to put anywhere else. You could sell them on market stalls in an alien marketplace. Perfect. So, Russell, when you knew that you were bringing Billy back, Rose back,
yes,
did you know that Bad Wolf would be...
I sort of thought it's part and parcel of Rose, really, as a warning, as a message, as a sign that goes with her. Rose was trapped in a parallel universe.
Yeah.
The walls are closed. Opening those walls was going to mean the deaths of all universes, like heat death, everything collapses.
Yeah.
So if messages are bleeding through, if she's crossing into universes, everything is in danger. Not just this universe, but everything.
But this is her. She's using Bad Wolf to let the Doctor know ahead of time. I mean, it's like it's the bat signal, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
That's a much better way of putting it. It's that signal.
Take 2, A camera mark. B camera. And action.
One of the things we address in the episode is what the world would be like without the Doctor. What she doesn't know is that in another life, in another world, she was with the Doctor when he did defeat the Arachnos.
Donna, of course, is connected to the Doctor. By her not meeting the Doctor in The Runaway Bride, the Doctor was killed, because the events of The Runaway Bride continue anyway. Some other secretary at H.C. Clemens must have been dosed with huon particles. The plan almost succeeded. The Doctor stopped them. But Donna wasn't there to stop him in that moment of destruction.
Doctor! You can stop now!
Out of energy!
What happened? Did they find... Sorry, did they find someone?
I don't know, bloke called the Doctor or something.
Rose knows how important Donna is, even though she sees herself as nothing, as she says, absolutely nothing.
I'm nothing special. I'm a temp. Donna Noble, you're the most important woman in the whole of creation.
Rose, Torchwood in Rose's universe, is monitoring the timelines. So Rose has an overview, an objectivity of all that's going on. And because their universe is slightly ahead of ours, she can see where she needs to go in our universe to stop everything unravelling.
25, take 2, A camera only.
Where is he? They took him away. He's dead. Sorry, did you know him?
Billy's return in episode 11 was, we had to keep that really under wraps. That had to be kept really quiet.
We never knew whether it would be 2 or 3 episodes. And to be honest, I would have done with 1 scene at the end. But actually, the planning for this goes back 18 months or so.
When I found out that I was returning to Doctor Who, I was fine up until about 3 weeks before shooting, and then I had a minor breakdown, and I thought I could never do that play that character again. So I went out desperately, frantically, buying box sets and watching my own performance. This is such a sad confession.
Episode 11's an extraordinary episode for Donna.
Action!
This is where we leave you. I don't want to see that thing on my back.
I honestly think that the moments in the Circle of Mirrors, both times when she's in the Circle of Mirrors, first of all, she's terrified, and then when she's so beautifully hopeful at travelling back in time, I literally think those are some of the finest performances I've ever been associated with.
At least I'm not going to die. Because I understand now. You said I was going to die, but you mean this whole world is going to blink out of existence. But that's not dying. Because a better world takes its place. The Doctor's world. And I'm still alive.
And of course, Rose knows differently.
Sorry.
We're all gonna get there.
She told me to warn you. She said 2 words.
What 2 words? What were they? What did she say?
Bad wolf.
Doctor, what is it? What's Bad Wolf?
It's the end of the universe.
We're heading towards a series climax now. There's all sorts of things that have been stewing. In every episode, there's elements being carried forward that will pay off in the finale. There's been the return of Rose, slowly coming through. She is returning, and we've seen Rose, we've seen her now with Donna. We've seen Martha, of course, before becoming part of the Doctor's world back on Earth. So all those seeds and elements are all heading, all these things are about to, it's like it's a rolling stone gathering moss. All these elements, something from every episode is about to pay off as we hit the biggest finale on planet Earth. It's fantastic.
So that's
On set in Cardiff, the most evil being in the universe is getting ready to make an entrance.
I've never seen Davros's face on this. Right. I didn't want to show him too quickly. I didn't want to show Davros's features so you see him too early.
And action.
I warned you, Supreme One. Just as Dalek Khan foretold, the children of time are moving against us. But everything is falling into place.
It was quite hard to show you a little bit at a time, because you've got the skirt, and you've got a gloved hand, and you've got some dials on the top, and then the rest of it's a leather jacket, and then the face. Just move your hand through that speech, move your hand slowly across on the speech.
And yet Dalek Khan is uneasy.
So you go with it, and it's that one.
Yeah.
Action.
I could almost mistake that tone for one of victory. Beware your pride.
The Doctor cannot stop us.
And yet, Dalek Khan is uneasy.
Thank you.
And that was my huge responsibility to start with. And then from there onwards,
I'm just going to pull you back to your position.
to make sure that the prosthetics and the body and the figure looked authentic and terrific. It's just getting the right kind of shots to show him off.
Action.
Supreme One, the subway network, I would address it. Give me access.
We've lost him.
No. There's another signal coming through. There's someone else out there. Hello? Can you hear me?
Rose.
Your voice is different, and yet its arrogance is unchanged.
She's dead.
Welcome to my new empire, Doctor.
I can't.
But it's not Davros's first appearance in the studios. Complex creations need a trial run.
Wow, this is brilliant. That's absolutely
That
brilliant.
chair looks so neat. With most of the big designs of the monsters, we have what's called a show and tell. So a couple of days before the first day of filming, we'll get the actor in, we'll get the prosthetics on them if that's what they need, or the costume on them.
Oh, yeah, let's
we'll get them in the chair or the device or, the whatever.
Can I have a lift?
And we'll just put the whole thing together and see how it works.
How malleable is all in there?
It's very flexible.
It's absolutely brilliant.
Eyebrows going everything. And here's the doctor.
It's brilliant.
Cool. How does it feel?
Fine, thanks. Yeah, very comfortable.
Very comfortable. David and I spent the entire morning in a state of complete frenzy because we knew we were going to do the Davros show and tell that afternoon. We just kept laughing at each other and we were so excited.
One of my earliest memories of Doctor Who is Davros. It was 1975. So, I was a very small child, absolutely captivated by this extraordinary creature.
Did the wires come out?
It doesn't disappoint when these things from your own sort of cultural memory is suddenly now part of the job you're doing for real. You never quite get over those slightly surreal moments, I think.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
In a nearby rehearsal room, another cultural memory is being awakened.
What we're doing here today is we're doing a bit of troubleshooting. It's about 18 months, nearly 2 years since we last did a Dalek episode, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah, about 18 months.
I have been summoned.
So we're just making sure that everything works. We're all getting in, having a trundle around, making sure all the things fit and all the electrics work.
We need more bodies immediately.
Yes, Master. It's all about the legs, really. If you've got long legs, you're in trouble. But, I mean, luckily it's all right. But, I mean, yeah, you basically got this very simple seat, which is a bit padded at the bottom here. And it's trying not to bang your knees.
Daleks have no concept of worry.
We've got quite used to it anyway, though, haven't we, over the years, that visibility is always a bit restricted. You've usually only got one or two, and it's usually off to one side as well. You know, it's there in the Dalek, and the bit that you can see out of is sort of like that. So if you've got to look over there, that's fine. If you've got to look over there...
Come with me!
Just, you know, using the force, really, just
And
guessing.
we're often, we're wearing these at the same time.
Yes, you have to do that. Yeah.
And then there's smoke, and then there's steam from the mini bar and the jacuzzi that you have in there.
And the in-Dalek entertainment system, and it's all in there,
Now, join with me!
The hardest part is keeping out of the way of the mutant, isn't it, mutant?
Yeah.
Yeah, the mutant does, like, if you sit on him, you know, so you have to
Doesn't
just
like
sort of
that,
get in
one bit.
sideways,
No.
have him alongside, or have him on your lap, maybe.
Really is the case that once we're inside and the lids have been put on and everything, people do kind of forget that we're in there because it looks like a Dalek and it's real and it moves and it twitches and we glide around. Again, it's a testament to what an amazing piece of design it is, that it comes to life and people think it's just a Dalek. It's not a bloke and some plywood and some fiberglass and some metal. It's a Dalek. Fantastic.
Hello, boys.
Hello, Graham.
Oh, look, could you show me your twitching? Check us all out.
Now, the far one, are you switched on?
I'm switched on, yes.
Can you move for us as well?
Yeah, sure. Do you want us to just...
Yeah. That's going to be good. Once you know who they are, you remember their names. But once they start moving, I haven't a clue. Who's this? Who am I talking to?
Ready? 6, 4, 2, take 2 again, ready.
Action! Dalek fleet in battle formation. All systems locked and primed. Crucible at 90% efficiency. The human harvest will commence.
Right, cut, just please.
If I do see it.
Rehearsing. And action.
Shut up!
Whole cruise was blowing up.
Explosion!
There's fire raining down.
Fire!
This year we had to deliver the grandest finale of all.
Flame! Bang!
Come with me, I promise I can save you!
Flames! Never forget, Doctor. You did this! I name you forever! You are the destroyer of worlds!
When we filmed Christmas this year, the Voyage of the Damned, I thought, well, that's the biggest we'll ever do. And then I read these scripts, and they're even bigger.
With it being the finale, there's that sense that, you know, the stakes are higher than ever, that this is a bigger battle than we've ever witnessed before. Everything has to be bigger and better and louder and more extraordinary than we've ever managed before.
It's universal, the scale of this episode. It's. I think it's the first time in the new series we said the entire universe is in danger. Indeed, not just the universe, but every reality beyond that.
For this one, it's your reaction to the crucible about to explode and things falling down or whatever.
Right. So, shudder, Danny. What happens after shudder?
It was like going bang, bang. What we had to do is create lots of, well, a sense that the whole ship is exploding. So we had various different effects happening, lots of pyrotechnics exploding. I've got a girder falling down, which is obviously happening in front of him.
When I see them with my naked eye, I know what they'll look like on camera because I'm going to tighten the lens so you fill the frame with the explosion, whereas obviously when you're in a big room, it happens there, a little explosion, and so it goes foot. But we then put a big explosion on it. The visual of it is shocking.
It's all controlled effects, okay, and I'm firing it all on the buttons, all right? So you're safe, all right?
So as long as I stay in the same place?
As long as you stay in the same place, yeah, it's all fine, all right?
Right, stand by then, please. And action. Shut up!
Come with me! I promise I can save you!
Never forget, Doctor. You did this! I name you forever! You are the destroyer of the worlds!
More flames! And cut, thank you.
Making safe, everyone. No one to move.
Oh, stunning. Look at that. It's brilliant. When you see it, I think it is terrifying, and I'm really thrilled with it. It's exactly what I wanted.
Is he dead? I couldn't tell you.
Impossible.
Brilliant.
This is so busy and so mental and so epic and universal in scale that you need 2 doctors to solve it.
2 doctors, yes, that was a nightmare.
How come there are 2 of you?
Human biological matter crisis.
On a technical level, the 2 doctors is a whole other consideration that we have to make, because obviously there is only one David. Were we to have a limitless budget, we'd film every scene with David as both characters. We don't. We only have a certain number of effect shots where we can see the 2 doctors together. So we pick those really carefully.
And I'd love to do a shot here, which is with 2 doctors. So I'd like to see doc number 1 settling into the back position here, about to say off we go, and doc number 2 for real in the foreground here with Rose.
Off we go!
In all the other moments where you're just kind of, the camera's over the shoulder of one doctor looking at the other, where you might just see an arm of a doctor or a part of the side of his head, we have a really good double for David.
There's a chap called Colum, who's a musician, actually. Very nice chap, and he's doubled for me now and again through the whole series. Actually, there's a few shots of the back of his head here and there.
There are 2 3 wide shots, or I shouldn't tell you this. There are 2 3 wide shots where you've got his back, just he turns, you can cut to a close-up of the real one, which is David. But just he turns, you get away with it. He's got the same sideboards, he's got the same height, he's got the same figure.
And was just as handsome.
What have you done?
If you shoot me in brown, and then you also need me in blue, then you have to lock the camera while I go and get changed, and then Colum standing in to line up the shot, and then you do a pass with Colum in for a reference, and then a pass with Colum out.
Now get in the TARDIS!
With the Doctor suffering a double dilemma, the TARDIS travels back to Bad Wolf Bay. Time for the Doctor Who team to pack their bucket and spade and hit the surf.
really weird, actually, being back today because of it mirroring almost 2 years ago when we were here for Doomsday, when the doctor said goodbye to Rose.
I love you.
It's quite right, too. And I suppose Rose Tyler.
Take 1, 8 camera mark.
Hey, camera.
Hold on, this is the parallel universe, right?
You're back home.
And the walls of the world are closing again.
Return to Bad Wolf Bay that's tricky scene to act, tricky to direct, tricky to edit as well, because is it sad? Is it happy?
3:13, take 1, 8 camera mark.
Hey, camera.
And action.
You made me.
Exactly. You were born in battle, full of blood and anger and revenge. Remind you of someone?
Ladies and gentlemen, Catherine Tate just did her last shot.
Another adventure that has come to an end is Donna Nobles, whose terrific time on the TARDIS has been terminated.
Yesterday I was told, oh, it's your last scene, but it wasn't. And today it apparently is. They were just like pick-up shots, though. Well, it's really sad, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I've done this job for 8 months and it was so daunting when I first got here to think I had eight months, you know, being away and now I just can't believe it's gone so quick. And I'll be really, really bereft once it dawns on me that it's finished, because I've just loved it. I've really loved it. Thank you so much. I've had such a wonderful time, and it has been because of you. So thank you.
Well, I think Donna has been a very different co-inhabitor of the TARDIS to anything we'd seen in recent years. And I think that's brought a new energy to this show and allowed it to go in slightly different types of stories.
I think what Catherine does so brilliantly with Donna is that she remains ordinary at all times. I think there's so many moments I'm proud of. You think of the performance she gives in episode 11, standing in that circle of mirrors where she has to travel back in time. She's so brave and hopeful and doomed.
I'm sorry.
But I can't die! I've got a future! With the doctor, you told me!
I think her humour and the genius that Catherine Tate brings to Donna, for me, is exemplified best in 2 scenes. It's the first scene in Partners in Crime where they meet and the whole dumb show. But then the scene where she meets the second Doctor.
You are bonkers.
Why? What's wrong with Blue?
Is that what Time Lords do? Lop a bit off, grow another one. You like worms.
No, I'm unique. Never been another like me. Because all that regeneration energy went into the hand.
Look at my hand. I love that hand. But then you touched it. Wow!
The comedy between those two, with his oi, oi, oi.
Oi!
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 Spanish!
It's just, how lucky are we? It's so brilliant. How lucky are we to get those two on board the TARDIS?
I grew out of you. Still could be worse.
Oi, watch it, spaceman.
Oi, watch it, Earth Girl. Ooh.
I think Catherine Tate has shown to be the most wonderful actress.
What am I supposed to do? I'm nothing special. I mean, I'm nothing special. I'm a temp. I'm not even that. I'm nothing.
Donna Noble, you're the most important woman in the whole of creation.
With the depth that none of us knew she was going to kind of dig up and show. Wonderful performance.
Action.
You know you can fix that chameleon circuit if you just try not binding the fragment links and superseding the binary. I'm fine. Nah, never mind Phil Spoon. You know what I'd like to meet? Charlie Chaplin. I bet he's great, Charlie Chaplin. Should we do that? Should we go and see Charlie Chaplin, shall we? Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chester, Charlie Brown. No, he's fiction, friction, fiction, fixing, mixing, Rixton, Brixton.
That's where I take it up to, yeah?
I found that scene in the TARDIS really hard. It broke me up the moment we started shooting it. It was hard.
I won't do a full rehearsal of the whole scene now, but
No, that's fine, not if we move.
as soon as David moves off from that spot, I'm off this section.
Sure.
You do not want an actress who's going to have to break down and floods of tears, and they want to, and they can do it. You don't want to be doing that 2 or 3 times.
226, take 2A camera mark. B camera. And action.
I want to stay.
Donna. Look at me, Donna. Look at me.
I think I had 2 goes. That was it. And we've used the first take. I know we've used the first take because they're always the best in terms of that emotion.
Oh my God. I can't go back.
Donna's fate is like a death, I think. I can't bear it.
Oh my God.
Do you know what's happening?
Yeah.
Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Doctor Who YouTube channel.